collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always of good cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to sup good beer.
Well, it's doing the shaft on a Monday morning, in the cable is the best. In the Busty seam with Thompson's team, and a flat car the 14th West. Now the Fiesta's 105 yards long, measured from Nuke to Nuke. And when crawling over the scufflins, lads, keep doing or you're bound to get stuck.
For the collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always of good cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to sup good beer.
Well, the shots gone off and the shovels the fleet till the belts get loaded full. And in half an hour a stern gets jammed and the motor will not pull. Brocken belt is the cry and we all creep out till the mother gets it to mend. Jody Harley's the deputy in War Flat, says he'll drive us around the bend.
For the collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always of good cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to sup good beer.
So we're pulling with strain for to fix it again when it's been put straight. Tim Jones, that's the secretary of our lodge, says it's time that you had your bait. So we take ourselves to a quiet spot with a plank and a chalk for a seat. And the crack at last flies thick and fast of the deans at the club last night.
For the collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always of good cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to sup good beer.
But it's very hard when you're paid by the yard for the tackle and hour your bait. So I crawl back on, get some timbering done, for the belts will hardly wait. For it's 26 inches high, me lads, and the walk is really grand. And the fellas pay for a quid a day, it's the best in all the land.
For the collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always of good cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to sup good beer.
Welcome to you all in this wonderful hall, Wood Hall. Right, I'll find out what I'm going to say next. Right, my name is Sam Dodds, and I've done a little bit to assist Johnny in preparing this book. Yeah, it's been a pleasure doing it. Now then, we perhaps welcome some of the people that are on the stage. Johnny Handel, should we have singing some extracts from the book, a little later, okay? Now, Nicholas Wood, there is a statue, which one is it? That one, is that Nicholas Wood? The famous, well, he was a very well-known leading mining civil engineer. And what he was concerned was about all the hazardous problems in the pit, the gas. And the deeper the pits went, it's a good idea to, for the owners and the engineers to come together in the 1850s and sort out some of these problems. And so, what was formed in 1872 was the Institute of Mining Mechanical Engineering, and this is where the training took place for mining engineers. Now, how did this book come about that some of you have been buying? Well, Johnny worked as a surveyor in the pits for 30 years, and you can imagine where he was in part of the pit. If the men were having a bait, he would sit alongside and there'd be a bit of a crack going on, and he would get to know what was going on in that part of the pit. And what he then found out was that some of these miners composed songs or poems. And so some of these poems he would put music to and even perform. And some of those you will have already heard. But these miners, I've seen here, they were interesting people. Because what they did was they selected their book and made little books like this of their songs. And Johnny was sending me photocopies of these through the post so that I could take the songs out of them to put into the Coalfields of Song verse. And because Johnny's been collecting songs for decades, and that is how it all started. Of course, some people were not only miners, but those were wives, sons and daughters of miners that actually composed songs too. And they are included, and it wasn't only about the process of mining work, it was about life in their communities. And this is what is going to be done today. So, Johnny is going to introduce the songs and poems, and instead of these songs being just on pages, they're going to be brought alive for you in this wonderful hall by Jim, Ingrid, Barry, and of course, Johnny himself. So, what we're going to do is ask Johnny to begin to introduce these songs today.
Hi.
Hi.
When I was here probably early singing folk songs, I originally started playing the piano in the jazz band many years ago and learned to pick up things by ear. But as I looked through collections of folk songs, I was surprised at the number of folk songs about mining, and particularly about mining in the northeast of England. It would seem that there's more miners writing songs at the moment than anyone else in the British Isles, hardly a lot of Smarties. So it seemed a pity not to publish a collection with my quote with a sound much better at typing than me and write music out. Without him, I would just be fumbling in the dark with a gun. Basically, we're looking at the period between the 1890s through to the collapse of the coal trade, which is the recent history of mining. And the books split into sections, so initially the first part of this course is going to deal with pit work and the getting the coals moved away from the quarries to where we would sell the coal. Along to Queen Elizabeth I, who were like more or less out in the fire at Buckingham Palace. So we said a lot of people done. So what we're going to start with is thinking of the mine as a community as it occurs. Unfortunately, we've got Snow by Barry. It starts off with everybody who's working at the shifts that day is dropping away down the street into the pit. The whole village seems to become alive. So let's sing this song.
Hello, good afternoon. I've just said to Ingrid, I bet the door office is really quiet. It's lovely to see everybody, especially since it's raining outside. Get everybody. Anyway, yeah, this song is says it all really. It's got a great chorus. I hope you're here to sing as well, mate. We're called Jim. The simple answer is Jim, Ingrid, Barry, but it also stands for join in, you buggers. Okay? Down, boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another bunch of miners
Praise Lord, they go down. Go try it. Boys down when you hear the whistle blow. Another one should mind us. Praise Lord, they go down. Down the cobbled streets comes the old familiar sound of hobnails and tin cans echoing around. Nobody's talking, for there's nothing you need to say, and you don't need your eyes when you fade know the way. Down, boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another one should mind us, ready for to go down. Jenny's at the door, and she sees him out of sight. She's hoping God'll keep him well, and send him home tonight. She's wondering if he's well enough before he's in the cage. Down, boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another bunch of miners ready for to go down. Working long and hard just to keep me family fed, but the hardest thing now every day is rising from me bed. A penny for this, a penny for that, there's somewhere to be found. You never stop until you drop, that's how the world goes around. Down, boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another bunch of miners ready for to go down. 4 in the morning, oh, enough to freeze your bones. A mug of tea to set them free, then on that down you go. Hear the wheels are turning and the rattle of toast as well. Oh, walking through the black days, like down the road to hell. Down, boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another bunch of miners ready for to go down. Boys, down, when you hear the whistle blow. Another bunch of miners ready for to go
Apologise for those people who hope to hear the glorious voice of Benny Graham. Unfortunately, Benny's having trouble with his heart, and it's just a bit too far to come. However, he wishes us all good wishes and the launch of this book, and he sings many of those songs. One of the areas in which many songs were written was the area of putters. Fillers fill the core in the tubs, but go on to get from that core face to the shaft. And for those putters that push the tubs out into sidings, and from the sidings they use pulleys with the drivers to the shaft. And Jim's got a song now. Put it on.
Johnny asked me to do this because he knew my dad was a putter, and like a lot of the putters, he poured water on top of his head, pushing the tubs with his head from a very young age. Sung written by Will Coombs in tune by You might think that I'm a clip with short ass flattering whip, but you've got to have the gear, the job to suit. And if you want to be a crack putter, same as me, you have to go on and wear the right rig boot. No, it's an honour just to claim the The pit crack of his name, for competition flourishes man the best. Brute strength is in the running, when combined with cunning, and a flair for twinning, it's better than the rest. Now me Galloway's name is Joe, he's willing but terrible slow, to sharpen him up, he sometimes gets the work. He's not on the Doris score, but he knows he's high to be so, if I shoot at him, and he just went a jail. Now in gateway number 1 was a beggar of a tone, each took to my despair got off the way. Me back got scratched and torn, we're lifting full and on, oh, I long for louse to bring it into the day. But at night when I reposed, and sleep behind its closed, I dreamt about that torn out through the need. It rose before me eyes, like a devil in disguise. I was glad again when morning broke the lead. But this day I went in by, the same sad look in me eye, and got the shock of me life for standing there. Was an angel, not the devil, what axe and saw and shovel, the deputy had relayed that torn like you. So now when I'm turning by, I sing instead of cry, and the toes around that torn now fairly home. I'm king of all the flat, me scores testify to that, and me back's as smooth and white as a baby's bum.
So Deputy Nelson, he was a great poet. He could hit that sort of humour which occurs in many Mayan songs. As time went on, electricity went into the pits, and the ponies didn't have to go right up to the shaft because they put ropeways for them toes. And as well as that, they got conveyors along the coal face. And that sort of system of working multiple faces, conveyors and rope works, so got the whole new system of mining in the mechanized times. And this is one in the times when I started, about the coal fillet duty and the rope and taking the coal out of the shaft. There's lots of stories in the tale about the shaft. About the pie wife that used to put down on a Friday. Oh no, they didn't. But they kept you waiting at the shaft for a while. That's human. Anyway, you know the chorus. Written in 1958, the Collier lads of Candyland, and he's out was out good cheer, and he knows how to walk, and he knows how to show, and he knows how to. Oh, the Collier lad, he's a canny lad, and he's always out good cheer, and he knows how to walk, and he knows how to show, and he knows how to show good cheer. But it's doing the shaft on one. And the cable is the best. In the busty steam with Thompson's team, in the flat car 14th West. The Fiesta's 105 yards long, nothing from Newt to Newt. And when crown on the Sprints lads, keep to lie up against them. Oh, the Collier lad is a canny lad. He's always
Top good year,
and he's
always looking at her shop. That's how the soap good year.
Well, shots got up and the shovels that play, till the bells get rolling forward, and the half an hour store gets jammed, and the motor will not pull. Broken buttons that cry bar preach, to the mother gets in to mend. Jody Allen's the deputy in Moorflat, says he'll drive us around the bend. For the
Collier lad is a canny lad. Of good cheer, and he knows how to walk, and he knows how to smoke, and he knows how to soak good year.
So
So we'll pull the straight for to fix it again. And when it's been pulled straight, Tim George, that's the secretary of More Lodge, says it's time that the hard you obey it. So I take my supplies thick and fast of the days of the club last night.
Oh, the collier lad is a canny lad, and he's always up with cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to suck with beer.
But it's very hard when you're paid for the yard to take long away your mates. So I crawl up and get some timber and done, for the belts we can hardly wait. For it's 36 inches high, lads, and the walk is really grand and the villas pay for £1 a day. It's the best in all the land. Oh, the
Collier lad is a canny lad, and he's always up with cheer. And he knows how to walk, and he knows how to shock, and he knows how to suck with beer.
Well, just have electric cord cutters on the scene and just to have rope race that went on, and some of the machinery that started to come in the 60s was the Allen Shearer and the Trapana. These machines used to work along the face, drop the core off onto a conveyor that was made up of metal bits instead of rubber, and the machinery used to have a great slice along the face. And this song, the Shearer, it describes this sort of the machine that revolutionised mining in the latter days. And what a time I was at New Wigan Club with the Ganonia there, and I overheard some of the lads talking about this new shearer they're going to get on the face. But they were talking to their wives, and the wife was saying, well, what is it? And so they were trying to tell the wives what this machine was like. But the comment at the end was, there was Alice, about 8 year almost, and she was the one that was dressed best, and I was going the big boat. She says to them assembly, aye, that's all very well, but we don't get any more money. And I had to go and get the round in. And they've been double gin and tonics, I can tell you. The shearer, it is a grand machine. I'd like to work for shearer, I'd be on the mechanical team. I've worked in board and pillar, and I've built and post and row. I've hewed and built the gateways, and there's doubt I cannot do. But I'm leaving on behind us now, for the time is coming nearer, when I'll be taking up me care alone upon the Allen Shearer. The shearer, it is a grand machine. I'd like to work for shearer, and be on a mechanical team. 200 tons of ore shipped are pouring off the face, and beats the pick and shovel, oh, we couldn't keep that pace. The trucks are like a forest, and a plastic green grounds, and we'll go up the conveyor, juggling levers with our hands. The shearer, it is a grand machine. I'm on the shearer, and we are a mechanical team. It has green picks like dragon's teeth that bite into the seam. It runs from nuke to nuke with all 600 feet between. Couldn't plough, the toes all spent all Gannon from Mulligan right to the shaft, with those who keep us standing on the shearer, it is the grand machine. I'm working on the shearer, we are a mechanical team. I'm working on the shearer now, and I'm lifting 20 quid. I volunteered to try it, and I'm bloody glad I did it. were working in the Placid Sea. I have nailed out in repair. Why didn't you come and say again? She got off, got away. On the Shearer, there is the ground machine. I'm working on the Shearer, the other carry team. He worked on a service, and the old folks in the Timothy used to tell me a lot about past mine when I found out I went to the grammar school. And there was other things that happened about the grammar school, because there was no vending shops in them days. So they thought, grammar school, what a handy lad he'll be, I bet he's honest. And so they used to give me paper wrapped in money to go to the garden, just outside the take the service. And mine sometimes horses did win, and I got up at the back family. Anyway, this lecture I had on what mining was like between the wars was far better than any history books I'd taken and read in the grammar school. And one of the things that pointed out was in the First World War there were so many men were scored that they had to have extra help brought in on the screens. Well, I knew the screens because that was one of my jobs at lunchtime, to give the screeners a break. Screeners, what are they? Well, I'll tell you in the book because there's translations in the book. But the screeners used to pick out stones from the conveyors, and the gold would go straight on, and they would hide the stones on another conveyor, and then would drop the stones into the wagon. That's how you got a great big pit heap. So the screeners were very short in numbers in the First World War, and so I was saving the lads. I noticed there was a lot of fellas on the screens was a bit living. They said, generally it's people that's had an accident in the pit, come back from a war, but sometimes they have to call on the women in the village to actually go and pick the stuff. I said, no women. They said, well, they never allowed women down the pit, but women stepped in when the war was on. So I found a poem from the Cumberland pit, the Hague pit, where the manager brought a book from the songs in the Cumberland dialect, and I thought that would be a nice one to remind people about the fact that one time the women stepped in like they did with the shipyards. And Ingrid's got a poem, there's a poem from a book about the screen lasses.
And it's called Screen Lasses of the 20s. It's by John Skelly, and he was born in 1913 and died in 2011. He was in 98. Fantastic. Right. Conveyors were slow moving, bearing the fruit of the mine, where women with their fingers deft parted the stones from coals that shine. From lumps of coal, heavy and hard, sharp and dangerous too, to give clean coal for fires at home, as pickings they'd pursue. The moving tables were called the screens. They'd clang and clatter loud, while women picked midst dust and noise, with eyes and heads all bowed. For this is more like men's work that these poor women did. Conditions bad, and their uniform was brat and shawl, berry or bonnet and clogs. Their first shift was from 5 till 1, no time to walk their dogs. A second shift began at 1 till 9 o'clock at night. Backache and dusted lungs among them was a common sight. These women, like the pitmen, hard-working were, and brave. The kind of work these lasses did was likened unto a slave. So forget not neither pitmen nor screen lasses of those days. They spanned the gap of hardship that led to better days.
Well, it wasn't just the pitmen and the families that wrote songs and verse that referred to pitmen in work situations and domestic situations. And the next song, which moves towards transport of coals from the pit to the markets, was written by a music hall comedian. And he was using the people's attitude towards Keelmen in a jocular way, because the Keelmen were regarded as a bit like the Toon Army yesterday, or was it the weekend? But he just managed to keep that tempers. But the Keelmen had a long shift to work, because they relied on the tides, getting the coals down from the wharves beside the river to the mouth of the river, and then turn around, and luckily if the tide changed, they might get the tide pushed them back upward. It might take 17 hours. But of course, it's like being a car salesman, you know, and selling down how much what they call that once? But yes, you know, just for $4. If one went past the day, and I live in a posh area. So the bands, you know, what are you going to do when you grow up more? I would like to play football. I've got a grandson that wants to go out. Anyway, in those days, they would say, wait, watch my father and my grandfather come home from the pub this evening and get a carry bit of money. I think I would like to be a Keelman. And this is some of his friends who says, well, I'm not sure about that, buddy lad. So, would you like, Jim, to give us a little bit of advice about having a clean vote or not?
So this song was originally written by a man called Joshua Bagman, who ran by 1863. And he wasn't a singer himself, but he actually owned the Oxford Music Hall. Come on, you're all Georges. You know what the Oxford Music Hall is? It's actually Bamburgh's Music Hall, and he decided to rename it. Very silly thing to do.
Yeah.
And later on, when he sold it, it went straight back to being Bamburgh's Music Hall. He gave the song to Ned Coven, and Ned did his thing and added bits to it. And then I got hold of it, and I did bits to it. So, we'll see what turns out. Can there be?
If you don't get a chorus, there's a bit which just goes retain. It's very boring.
I thought it was classic. Well, no, you're going to be a Keelman. Oh, by the way, this first line, you've got to imagine how the hell did he come up with this phrase, right? Well, now you're going to be a Keelman, you great big slathering coal. You know how hard you have to walk, how hard you have to pull. You'll have to pulley with your hook to your shoulders, they all say. So Jackie, take a friend to buy something of that name there. For a Keelman, oh a Keelman, oh Jackie's lost his mind. He's having to be a Keelman upon the Goldie Tide. The time, he's coming to be a Keelman upon the Goldie Tide. Now when you wear your flannel drawers and your stockings or the blue, as sure as I am standing here, it's then you'll surely rue. With your legs off on the hoodie and a pipe stuck in your mouth, you'll be coming down that river, and you'll not know no throat soup.
For a gale man, oh, a gale man, young John, he's lost his mind. He's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne. The Tyne, the Tyne, he's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne.
Now the skipper will never treat you right when he gets you in his hands. He'll have you walking day and night till you can hardly stand. You'll wish you were at school again, or wandering down the bourne, instead of slaving like a horse. Such nonsense manners scorn.
For a gale man, oh, a gale man, young John, he's lost his mind. He's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne. The Tyne, the Tyne, he's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne.
Now you'll be coming here at neat, with your face all over black, and you'll lie and snore beside the fire and never answer back. So Jackie, take a friend's advice, for I'm sure he'd wish you well, and never trim and show the coal, or walk aboard the keel.
For a gale man, oh, a gale man, young John, he's lost his mind. He's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne. The Tyne, the Tyne, he's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy Tyne. The Tyne, the Tyne, he's coming to play a gale man upon the Holy
We're very lucky to have the rivers Tyne and Wear, to have these keel boats going up and down. And once the road was put onto the Collier Bridge, they would go away to London, often at great risk, because of course the time is, you need your fuel. This is the time when you're getting a bit cold in the winter, and that does affect the weather. So there's a whole history of these collier brigs going down to London and having their landmarks. Sometimes they were even attacked by pirates, would you believe that? And they would have wreckers. And these wreckers, I will not say what county they came from, but they were gone just for half an hour, and there might be a few ports just open. And of course they would turn the boat towards the leading lights, and they were on the cliffs, and smash would down and board on the cliffs, and down would come all these people with bogies and wheelbarrows and everything, saying, "Come here, lassie," and "Hey, lass," and you know the accent, and singing, "Let's think more about that," backwards. And so they were very apprehensive about being careful about taking leading lights. And like today, when you go down to London, they have trouble parking. Have you had trouble parking here today? Yes, yeah. Well, what they did was, would have a particular flag that showed which company the collier brigs came from, and they would have a bloke on a horseback, Tilbury, and he would see the boats coming round the entrance to the Thames, and he would go tappy-lappy up to London, to the docks, and put a parking sign up. And that would make sure that the ship would get in, would load its coals, and let the lads away off and spend their money. Won't really want his Red Barrel or whatever passed for beer in those days. And also, sometimes they might get the whole load disposed of and back into the ship and on the way home. So this is a song about this. And one of the things I wanted to mention to you, the book is a collection of songs and poems that's come from all over the place. And this was the most unusual place that I got this song. I wrote the song, because I was taking some plans when I was a surveyor at the Rising Sun to Blythe, because we were getting a bit near their wagons, they were getting a bit near ours, so we wanted to get the plans passed along. And so I went on this, handed the plans over, and went to the bus station, where I just missed the bus. Well, I thought, I'll get to the pub and have a pint and in Sandwich get the next bus. But in the pub, in the back room, was a collection of blokes of a certain age, quite old, nearly as old as me. And they were drinking and talking, and they weren't talking about football or anything like that, but, you know, strength of the beer. They were talking about ships. So I was looking at them straight and says, how are you and come and sit with us? And it turned out that they were families of people who had worked on the Collier Briggs. And they went back generations and generations and used to meet in this pub once a month. Well, I thought that was very interesting to follow these guys. I missed 3 buses. and I thought, I'm right so, but I better make sure that you've got the right ears. If they didn't like it, I'll tear it up. So the next month I went there, was still there. Oh, well, you're very army to come and sit in the room with us. And they were telling us stories, wonderful stories about these Collier Briggs, different sizes of the boats. So I sang the song there and then there was a sort of silence. I said, that's canny. That was it. So then I went back to talking about boats here. So this has gone forward. Though the seas be rough as smooth, to London we will go with Geordie Cole, I'll do in the hold, a collier brig on the eastern shore. Though the seas be rough as smooth, to London we will go with Geordie Cole,
Down in the hole.
a collier brig on the eastern shore. We load her up and Blythe boys, always coal and store. Highway from Northumberland on the collier brig on the eastern shore. It's past the time that Hockley Bow, road Flamborough ahead once more. The Geordie lads is off to sea on the collier brigs on the eastern shore. Though the seas be rough and smooth, to London we will go with Geordie Cole, all down and a collier brig on the eastern shore. I've rowed and sailed in ships too, been wrecked and sunk before, but wreckers of pirates can't stop the canny lads on the eastern shore. And when we get to Tilbury, the watchman he would row, send news to town the Geordies come, the collier brigs on the eastern shore. Though the seas be rough and smooth, we will go with Geordie Cole, the collier brigs. I've sailed the States around the moor, seen oceans by the score, but the hardest seas ever shipped was the post 10 gale on the eastern shore, where it's cracked the can at home and eat, and see the bends once more. So I'm back to more shore cargoes now, for the collier brigs on the eastern shore. Though the sea give us and we will go with Geordie Cole, all down the road, a collier brig on the eastern shore. Oh yeah! Well, transport was a very important thing, and one of the fortunate things about doing a history of transport is that we can find where the coal went down the wagonways. Still there's many remains of wagonways. Fortunately, the kids at school are learning a lot about that history because we did a wonderful project at Wallsend with the help of a few of the teachers at the schools from around about, going over the Wagon Wheel routes and the Antiquities and History Societies. Managed to show the bends where Stevenson's engines went and all this. And they were really taken with it. And the kids built a wagon way in the theatre and would dangle this rope across the audience. That's what kids do anyway. And but the kids wanted to know the full journey down the river. And of course, why isn't there clear boats now? And began to find out that the money that was supposed to be spent from the profit of coals was for other purposes for the Newcastle councillors. But it was supposed to be dredging the river that were Galloyd. So the first notion of how government works, local government, in case you remember this. Anyway, eventually the dredging did take place. But some of the key boats kept going, carrying different cargoes, bricks and clay and sand. And this is a song about one of the keel boats that took a tow from the tubs, the steam tubs that started on the river as it was digging. So we're going to finish off this part of the concert with a song that Jim are going to sing, written by a very famous songwriter who actually started working in the pits, Jody Ridley. And he was injured in the pit, so he took to singing. Not bad. Blazing Races. But this isn't Blazing Races, is it?
In 1861, a group from America called the New Christy Minstrels came to Newcastle, and Jody Ridley heard these people singing these wonderful tunes, these minstrel tunes, and from that day, most of these songs were written to minstrel tunes. You'll recognise the tune of this. And of course, this was 1861. A year later, he wrote the Blazing Races, which is also to a minstrel tune. But this was a much bigger hit in its time than the Blazing Races was. This is the Blazing Keel Man. No lands have torn, no lands have torn the keel that know when me flannel draws and me jacket blow on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. In Blaenau was bred born on the New Year's Day and morn on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. I never will be Blaenau. In Bladen I was bred and born, I never will leave Bladen. Ah-ho, ah-ho, the Bladen lies forever. As Bob Jim was and Harry clasped on a toe in a boat, can pull faster on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. We're winship and time, on the time, or a running. Skinner's born, were lost more time than rival mourn on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. I never will leave Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho. For in Bladen I was bred and born, I never will leave Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho. The Bladen lies forever. Commissioners, you'll say, are towing on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. She's always towing, ballast keels, loaded with a dredger, doing its shields on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. I never will leave Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho. For in Bladen I was bred and born, I never will leave Bladen, ah-ho. Join constables will lick them bonny, what he'd command as coffee Johnny on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. And never will he Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho, when Bladen was bred and born, and never will he Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho, the Bladen lads forever, ah-ho, ah-ho, the Bladen lads forever. Me wife lives out in Bladen born, I married her at Wickham Church one morn, on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. In Robson Street we'll live together, a walk in the keel along with a fella, on the time, on the time, on the time, on the time. And never will he Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho, when Bladen was bred and born, and never will he Bladen, ah-ho, ah-ho, the Bladen lasts forever, ah-ho, ah-ho, the Bladen lasts forever.
The history of the transport. Now we're on a break of about 20 minutes, and you can stand up and walk about and perhaps buy some of the books and learn a lot more of the songs. And then we'll join you in 20 minutes' time, and we'll look at some of the other areas, particularly the family and the leisure, and some of the hard times we've had recently in the mining trade. Thank you very much.
Hello, John.
Footage there? Oh, God, you're not doing it. What the hell?
Haven't done John, mate. Hello, Mary. This is my friend Mary. That's
supposed to be a concert. It's supposed to be a book launch. That's what I'm... Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So what do you have to choose one? Yeah, all the songs. So we're doing a few doing these names of them. Because he sang them, but what happens if he no longer sings them? So now... That's right.
Children in the hard times, living in hovels, not much to eat. Along came the union, the owners for to explosions and lockouts as the coal begun to flow. The owners wanted profits and then some more. Waterloo fight for the miner in the pits, but he stuck to the union and they'd get their hits. We are marching with our banner, we are marching in our line, we are marching with our banner till the end of time. Doherty dig the coal, sharpen up your picks. When the soldiers shoot the Geordies in 1926. Geordie dig the coal, that's the way to win the war. And that's what Geordie did, as he done before. We are marching with our banner, we are marching in our line, we are marching with our banners till the end of time. In 1947, war hopes were realised, coal became where one, the pits were nationalised, digging down below with new machines, underneath the sea and the deeper, deeper seams. We are marching with our banner, we are marching in our line, we are marching with our banner till the end of time. But just like a pendulum, swinging back again, Maggie Thatcher stole our pits and sold them to her friends, wrecking the economy and softened the rat race, and tried to tell the miners that coal was their place. We are marching with our banner, we are marching in our line, we are marching with our banner till the end of time. Don't forget the story, tell it to your kids. It's the proud history of what their parents did. We still have our community, the ties are just as strong. So stand behind your banner and sing this song. We are marching with our banner, we are marching in our line, we are marching with our banner till the end of time. Thank you very much. What a lovely place to celebrate this collection of songs, poems, and just to sing the songs together. Like I hope you'll be singing them all the time we read this book. Thank you very much.
So these are the little booklets where these songs started from, and you make earmarks of them. And finally, the thing is, this is a, can you remember this is a book war, not a concert? However, it wouldn't have been so successful here, and the singer, Johnny, wouldn't have done these things without you coming. And it's 150 seats, 150 people have come. Thank you, the audience, for coming and listening.
Though the seas be rough or smooth, to London we will go, with Geordie Cole all down in the hold, the collier brig on the eastern shore. We'll load her up in Blythe, boys, they've always coal in store. High men from Northumberland on the collier brigs on the eastern shore. It's past the Tyne, Hartlepool, round Flamborough Head once more. The canny lads is off to sea on the collier brigs on the eastern